Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Petty Officer Karg. I am the local Navy recruiter for the area. I really wish that I could be there with you today, but unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions, I am, resigned to recording this and having your teacher show this to you in the classroom. But I really hope that I can teach you something and just put my information out there. And then if you absolutely need anything, just let me know. I like to start off by just telling a little bit about myself, and I don't just talk about myself just because I like to talk about myself. There's a reason why I go into it, right? So I come from a very, very small town in Missouri. My town had 427 people in it. I had 12 people in my graduating class whenever I was a senior, and of those 12, I finished 7th of 12. I was a very underwhelming student. I didn't make the best grades. I was nowhere close to valedictorian. I was nowhere near, being top of the class or anything like that. I was going to get a full ride scholarship to any college in Missouri that I wanted to go to for my excellence in music. But I knew that there was no future for me in music, especially around Missouri. I knew that I could have been a music teacher, but as every single teacher that I've ever talked to will attest to, teachers don't make what they deserve. Teachers don't make what they're worth. And so I knew that wasn't for me. But at the same time, there was nothing else available for me around my area. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I talked to my brother, who'd been in the Navy for about a year and a half at this point, and I asked him, just what do you think I should do? Because he was who I had always looked up to, and he said, well, have you ever considered military? He didn't say Navy in general, he just said military. And I said, there's absolutely no way. All right. I didn't grow up watching military movies or growing up thinking I was mentally tough. I wasn't on wrestling or anything like that. I was the starting point guard for my basketball team, but that's not hard to do when there's only 6 people on the team. I come from the kind of town that it's so flat that you can watch your dog run away for 3 weeks. That's the kind of place that I come from. There's just nothing there. And again, we obviously didn't have an ROTC. I mean, we barely had enough students to keep the school running. So I said, there's absolutely no way, because, I didn't know what the military was. I didn't know what the Navy was all about. I was thinking probably exactly like you're all thinking right now. I don't want to join the United States Navy, go out onto the middle of a ship and be just out in the middle of the ocean for, 4 years, 5 years of my life, secluded from everybody and everything. Little did I know that's not how it works at all. So finally, he kept on and on and on, and then finally I was like, all right, if it'll get you to shut up, I will make a call. So I called the recruiter. He drove 45 minutes from his office to my house to pick me up, which, that's the closest anything to me in my hometown was 45 minutes away. The closest stoplight to me was 45 minutes away. He drove to my house, picked me up, took me back to his office, and sat down. And I was like, I'm about to waste this dude's time. I'll talk to him for about 20 minutes or so, and then I'll tell you, but I appreciate it, but take me home. Little did I know that 20-minute conversation would turn into an hour and a half later. I was filling out all my paperwork. 4 days later, I was at MEPS, picking a job, picking my ship date, and securing my life for the rest of my life. I had no idea that everything was going to move as fast as it did, but by God, am I glad that it did. Because a 20-minute conversation turned into an hour and a half decision, turned into a 4-day commitment, turned into now a lifetime's worth of success that there's no possible way that I would have been able to achieve had I not chosen to put this uniform on and assume the title of United States Sailor, which again I had absolutely no clue that I would even be able to do. If you're sitting out there right now and you're thinking, I don't want to do it because I don't think I could, that's nonsense. Because if I can do it, literally anybody can, right? Because there's nothing exceptional about me, and yet here I am. All right, so another thing that gets a lot of people falling away from the idea of, or even the potential of, considering the United States Navy or seeing what the opportunities that are available to you are, is the fact that people, military recruiters, they have this bad rap of, of getting into, getting into schools, lying to students, lying to you because, people think that you're just a number to us. You're just a contract to us. You're just a quota. That has never, ever, ever been the case for me. All right. This is going to sound really mean, and it always comes out a lot meaner than I, mean it to. But it's the truth in that, personally, I really don't care if you join the Navy or not. And here's what I mean by that. What I care about is that you know exactly what your options are, and that way you can make the best decision possible for yourself. There's no way for you to know that until you've actually had to sit down and talk to me about it. Especially if you're sitting there and you don't know what you're doing after high school. You're thinking about, well, I may go to college, but I may not. It's been my experience that far too many people that tell me that they want to go to college straight out of high school drop out after the first one or two semesters, and it's for a number of reasons. Number one, can't afford it. It's extremely expensive. Even with things like Tennessee Promise and stuff like that, it's still extremely expensive to have to put yourself through that schooling. Number two, nobody wants to get out of a high school. Nobody wants to get out of one classroom and go straight into another. That's kind of redundant in that people, you need experience. You need to give yourself a break from being burnt out from being in a classroom, in order to be the most successful in a classroom. A lot of people think, well, I just don't want to lose the momentum of my learning capacity or anything like that. But in my case, the Navy's paid for. I took 4 years off of my education, and I started back up while I was still on active duty, and the Navy paid for it. And because I took those 4 years off, I got an associate's degree in personal financial management that the Navy paid for. I've gotten 2 bachelor's degrees since then, one in business administration with a focus in management, and one in human resource management that the Navy paid for. And I have I'm graduating in January with a master's degree in human resource management, all that the Navy's paying for. And I can go for my doctorate even if I wanted to, which the Navy would pay for, which I absolutely don't want to because college is terrible, but it is what it is. But I figured if the Navy's going to pay for it, why not? And because I have the experience that I have now, because I've gotten the leadership and the worked with the people that I've been able to work with, and I've built on that work ethic that I have now, that really I had absolutely no semblance of back whenever I finished high school. Because of that, I was recently selected to the as the presidential nomination for the for my college's National Society of Leadership Summit, which basically means that I will graduate with my master's degree with honors and distinction, and I'm part of this society now. It's a lot like a fraternity, where that'll go on my resume, and now I'm going to be nationally recognized as being part of this leadership summit that I think is less than 20% of all students around the nation ever get to be a part of, and my nomination came because I enrolled in school. I've maintained my GPA, which there's no way that I would have been able to do straight out of high school, and because I have my military leadership, which is something that they play into as well. So aside from the Navy paying for it and all this other stuff, just the experience that I've had of being in the Navy is really paying me dividends as well, in the progressing in my future of being in societies such as this, and being able to graduate with distinction and honors, which is going to look that much better on my resume whenever I do go to retire, on top of all of the degrees and all the education and all the experience likewise that I've gotten, that's going to go on there as well. So the military isn't just for people who don't think they would make it through college. right? The military, the Navy really is for those who maybe you want a little bit something more than just college. You know, maybe you want that extra leadership experience that the Navy can give you. Maybe you want that extra, weight off of your shoulders of never having to worry about a student loan payment in your life. Maybe even just that resume bullet that can go on there that employers like myself, because again, I'm a human resource major. It's going to be my job to hire people like you. And who am I going to want to hire? Am I going to want to hire somebody who, just coming off the street, went straight from high school into college, got that piece of paper and, oh yeah, I've got my education. Or am I going to want somebody who, number one, I know can accept responsibility. Number two, I know can, take orders, give orders, do what needs to be done to get the mission done. And number three, am I going to want somebody who I know is not going to be stressed out at work because, again, that weight is lifted from your shoulders because you don't have all of those all that student loan debt and all of those things. I'm going to go with that second person every single time. Just like me, for instance, and again, it helps that we get that veteran preference as well. In that, as a veteran, as somebody who served in the military, employers are required by law to consider you for employment before they consider anybody else. So. But aside from all of that, then you have the big three, right? So you have people join the United States military, people join the United States Navy because they want money straight out of high school. They want their education, they want to get it paid for, they want all the kinds of training and opportunities and experience that the Navy can offer. And people want to travel and people want to see the world, right? Well, there are a few ways that all of those things happen. So, everybody knows that you join the Navy or you join the military, you get that guaranteed paycheck, 100% guaranteed, 1st and 15th of every month, no matter what, right? There's no furloughs, there's no layoffs, there's no, the company's shutting down, there's no, the company's going into bankruptcy, so I'm not getting paid. The company's going into bankruptcy, so they're shutting down, so now I have to go look for other employment. That's something I've never had to worry about, right? I've always been guaranteed that paycheck on the 1st and 15th of every single month. I get it all the time, how much will I get paid? Well, starting out as an E1 with absolutely no experience whatsoever, as of right now, the pay chart reads at $1,700 a month. That's split up between the 1st and 15th of every month. That may not sound like a whole lot, but you've also got to consider that this is straight out of high school. This is entry level, and this is with having to come in with absolutely no experience whatsoever. That the Navy is going to give you that experience. The Navy is going to give you all of the training and qualifications that you need to be able to do that job, and they're going to pay you while you're getting all of that. So that's all of those things are things that you don't have to worry about, that you can come straight out of high school and start getting all that stuff, right? That also doesn't include the fact that you're not having to pay for your food. The Navy's going to give you what we call a basic allowance for sustenance that will pay for your food. And the last time I checked, it was something around $380 a month. And that's on top of your base pay. All right? The Navy's going to make sure that you have your housing allowance, or the Navy's going to make sure that you have somewhere to stay that you do not have to pay for, whether that be in the form of base housing, barracks to live in, which even the barracks right now on every single base that I've ever been on are a lot nicer than any college dorm that I've ever been in. With the kitchenette sets and the fridge and the stove and the counters and all that stuff and your own personal bathroom and things like that. Again, it's a lot nicer than really any other dorm that I've ever been in. The Navy's really stepped up their game in the amenities category, and making sure that we are taken care of no matter what, right? So, and again, those are just things that I've never had to worry about. Medical, dental, vision, those are very obvious things that, everybody, you're going to join the Navy, you're going to join the military, you're going to get free medical, this is all repetitive, but the fact is that it's there. And that's a huge benefit because of the fact that those are major costs that, again, are things that I've never had to worry about. I don't have to worry about what happens if my daughter falls tomorrow and breaks her arm. Who's going to cover those medical bills? I don't have to worry about that. I don't ever have to worry about, what if I need a filling? I never had to worry about that. I've never had to worry about, where's my next electric bill payment going to come from? I've never had to worry about, well, I'm going to have to rob Peter to pay Paul. I'm going to have to not pay my electric bill this month to be able to pay my rent. I've never had to worry about that because I know 100% certainty what I'm going to be getting paid, when I'm going to be getting paid, and that it's going to be enough to cover everything that I need, because that's what the Navy does. The Navy is set up to take care of us as sailors. All right. And again, I mean, that comes in all different forms, but monetary is one of those huge things, those huge weights that have been lifted off my shoulders that I'll never have to worry about. You know, and again, also the fact that, you know, you got that 20-year retirement, which retirement, I could go on an hour, 2 hour long spiel about how retirement works now or how you can make it work, but it's also the fact that I'm going to retire when I'm 39 years old. And that's something that almost nobody else can say. Nobody. I'll retire when I'm 39, be drawing full retirement, full medical for the rest of my life. You know, and think about right now, you know, do me a favor and think about everybody that you've seen come and go from your high school, right? How many of them went to college, dropped out of college, and now they're working at Food City, for example, with no hope and no view of how they're ever going to get out of it? Probably too many, right? And that's something that I've seen a lot. Every time I go anywhere, it's, you know, I was going to join the Navy, but, you know, I was going to, but, you know, there are a million reasons why you wouldn't do it, all right? There are a million excuses why not to, all right? All it takes is that one reason as to why you should. And really isn't, not having to worry about all of this, isn't that worth even 4 years of your life? Because, and again, I mean, it's not like you're having to change who you are in order to do this, because this isn't your granddad's Navy. This isn't what the Navy is not what most people think that it is, all right? We're not just floating out in the middle of the ocean for, you know, 4 or 5 years at a time, and then, you know, coming back whenever it's our time to get out. That's not how it works for us, right? I was on an aircraft carrier for 5 years. I was stationed on an aircraft carrier for 5 years when I was on active duty. Of those 5 years, I was only ever out to sea for a collective total of 1 year, 8 months, and 9 days, and that included both of my deployments. One of which was 6 months. One of which was 7 months. You know, the rest of that time, that was over 3 years that I was stationed in, or that we were moored in my home port of Norfolk, Virginia, where I had an apartment out in Virginia Beach, on the beach, which that's another good thing, is that you're joining the Navy, you're pretty much going to be guaranteed to be stationed on a beach, right? But I had an apartment on the beach. I had a band. We'd go out and play at beach festivals and stuff like that. Because again, I am a musician. Again, also, I met my ex-wife. God love her. You know, I had pets. I had a life. I didn't. You know, I was taking college classes at the local community college after work. You know, I'd show up to work at 7 o'clock in the morning on the ship. You know, about 11 o'clock noon every single day, I was, you know, heading home. Show up, do whatever I needed to do, and going home. Because, I mean, you know, you're in port, you know, you get done with what you need to do. What's the point of being there for the rest of the time? So, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that we're not going out to sea and just staying out there. You know, you go out to sea when it's time to go out to sea. But for the most part, you're going to be in your home port, working just like a regular job, just like you otherwise would be. You can still have, you know, you still have your family. You still have time to yourself. You still get that 30 days of paid vacation every single year. All right. Most places, you're really only going to get a week tops, 2 weeks tops. All right, and really, it's hard to find any more than 2 weeks anywhere you go. And I don't care how high up in corporate you get at some place like Amazon or something like that. All right, the majority of the time, it's 2 weeks a year, and it's hard to be able to take even that because of, you know, the way that things are scheduled. But with the Navy, you are guaranteed 100% 30 days of leave per year. Right? That's a full month out of every single year that you're going to, that you are being paid to go on vacation. That's unheard of anywhere else. It just is. And that's just the reality of it. So, I mean, and if that's something that, you know, that's another thing that a lot of people, another reason why people choose not to, is that they don't want to leave their families. Well, you know, it's a good way to get away and start your own life, but, you know, still have a month every single year where you can take to come home and spend do whatever you want to do, spend whatever time you want with them. That's what the Navy offers. That's what we do, right? So my poorly drawn graduation cap here represents, again, the education, right? Because people join for money, people join to get their education paid for, and people join because they want to see the world. I'm not an artist, so don't laugh at my art. But your education that's another one of those main reasons why, and that's one of the whenever I ask anybody, why would anybody join? That's one of the first things that people say, to get their education paid for. And they're absolutely right, because again, the Navy's paid for my associate's degree, both of my bachelor's degrees, my master's degree. They'll pay for my doctorate if I choose to go for it, which I will absolutely not do right now. But they will pay for my doctorate if I want to go for my doctorate. And they do that through a number of ways, and there's so much opportunity there that the Navy, they make sure that you're taken care of no matter what. One of the ways that they do that is through tuition assistance. All right, tuition assistance is money that the Navy is going to give you to go to school while you're already serving, just because. And this doesn't take away from any other benefit that you've already received. This doesn't pull away from your GI Bill that you're going to be earning or anything like that. This is just money that the Navy is going to give you to go to college. And right now it's up to $5,000 a year. Again, that the Navy's going to give you while you're still serving, just because. And that's how the Navy's paying for my master's degree right now. That's how the Navy would pay for my doctorate if I wanted to go for it. I used my GI Bill whenever I transferred into the reserves after to the Navy Reserves after my first active duty stint in order to get both of my bachelor's degrees. And I used my tuition assistance during my first enlistment to get my associate's degree, and now I'm using the tuition assistance again to get my master's degree. But the GI Bill is something that you use after you get out. You earn it after your first 2 full years of service, and that pays for 100% of tuition, 100% of all of your fees and your taxes and room and board and all of that stuff. Plus, that gives you a monthly housing stipend, depending on where you live after you get out. And once you're using your GI Bill, that gives you a monthly stipend to help you out with bills and things like that while you're using that. That way you don't have, that's just one less thing that you have to worry about even after you do that. So, but this is how I've gotten my education. All right, and there are so many other ways to go about it as well. Things like the Navy Cool program, right? The Navy Cool program stands for Navy Credentialing Opportunities Online. All right, and really what that is for instance, right? I'm a human resource major. I'm utilizing the Navy Cool program right now in order to get my what we call my SHRM certification, which is the Society for Human Resource Management certification. All right, these are civilian certifications that the Navy is going to pay for. They'll pay for all of those classes. They will pay for all of that training. They will pay for the test to do your certification, and they will pay for the annual recertification every single year until the day that you get out of the Navy, so that you can hold those civilian certifications and carry those with you after you go to leave the Navy. And that's something that, again, that's just that much more weight lifted off your shoulders, because that's something that you don't have to do. That's something that you don't have to worry about on your own. That's something that the Navy is going to make sure that you've got, and it's just another benefit, added on to why this is a good idea for literally anybody. All right, and the reason I say that is because I've done a lot to take myself out of the shoes of the recruiter. I've done a lot to put myself into your shoes as the student, as the potential applicant, as the interested party, as the preparer for your future, right? To try to find a way that the Navy is not beneficial, or the Navy is not a good idea. And in all 100% honesty, I've not been able to find a reason. I just haven't. There's no scenario in which this isn't a good idea. There's no scenario in which the Navy will not help you achieve whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve. A lot of people look at the Navy as this wall stopping you from getting from where you are, right, to where you want to be. and that's just not the case. All right, and what this little gap here is people think that the Navy, right, is stopping you from making the money that you need to make, right, from getting the education that you need to do, from doing the having the opportunity to travel the world like you would absolutely want to get the kind of experience that you're going to need to get from, again, where you are to where you want to be. And for literally nobody that has ever joined the United States Navy that I've ever encountered or anything like that, has that been the case. In all reality, the Navy has been this bridge helping you to cross over all of these things that all these things that you're going to have to go through anyway, right? The Navy's this bridge helping you figure all of this out to help get you from where you are to where you want to be. And again, it's that much more weight off of your shoulders. And again, especially for those of you who may not know what you want to do after high school, it's one of those why not sort of things, right? So, and again, and that just takes you back to things like the Navy Cool program, right? It's things in this little gap right here that you're going to have to go through anyway, right? That the Navy is going to help you figure out and give you the tools to help you solve those problems before they even become a problem, right? So things like, again, the Navy Cool program, things like NC PACE courses even, where those are, the Navy pays for literal college professors to come from their institutions to the Navy ship, to the squadron, to the base, to whatever, to offer you college classes, accredited college classes that will count for credits towards your education, to give you those on the ship itself, right? And you don't even have to apply to a college to do that. You just apply through the NC PACE program through your commands, and that's just education that you're going to be getting. All right. And again, last but absolutely certainly not least is people join because they want to travel and they want to see the world. I have been to countries that I didn't even know were a thing whenever I was in high school. All right. I've been to Dubai 4 times. I've been to Bahrain twice. I've been to Greece. I've been to Spain, Italy, France. Every single one of those places, and all of those places happened during my port visits while I was on deployments. All right. Deployments in the Navy are not all ho-hum and you go out into a desert and you're just walking around moving a sandbag from one location to another, right? A deployment is you're going out into the middle of the ocean to do a job, right? You're going out to launch airplanes off an aircraft carrier, which is what I did. I was the guy in the blue shirt and yellow shirt on the flight deck doing the hand signals and driving the tractor around that pulled the aircraft where it needed to be. You're out there working on the airplanes. You're out there building bombs and working with explosive systems. You're out there working with the big guns like the Sea Whiz sponsons and stuff like that on the sides of the ships. You're out there, working on the engines of the ships to keep the ships running. You're out there, for those of you who are really, really good at science and math, nuclear engineering is another huge thing. And that's, I could do another hour and a half, 2-hour ramble about nuclear engineering and the benefits of that as well, towards, your future. And, again, that's the $40,000 signing bonus and, all the added other bonuses as well. But that just goes to show that, these deployments aren't what you think they are, right? But deployments are how we get to things like the port visits and stuff like that, and how I've been to, again, Dubai 4 times, Bahrain twice, Greece, Spain, Italy, France, and all of these places. I wasn't there for diplomatic relations. I wasn't there for security force protection or anything else. I wasn't even there in uniform, right? All of these places, I wasn't even there in uniform, all right? We were out there in civilian clothes for the Navy to pay us, to pull us into these places and pay us to go out and experience tourism in these places, all right? We had dudes ironing their blue jeans the night before we pull into these places, right? I have no idea why, don't ask me. But, and port visits during deployments is how we were able to do that. We're not, we're not taking you to, our vision of traveling and seeing the world is not going to Syria to, sleep in a hole in the desert. I don't know if that's how it works, but we're not sleeping in really heated tents and things like that. We're actually going to these places and going to experience places like going to see the the Eiffel Tower in France, I went and saw that. Not as great as you'd think, but still, I can say that I've been there. Getting to go to the top of the Jebel Ali, the tallest building in the entire world, or Jebel, wherever the name of the tallest building in the entire world is in Dubai. Getting to go to the top of that, things that I would have never gotten to do. And the Navy is what took me out and let me experience that. So again, port visits are how we got to do that. Things like MAC flights even, where flights that are leaving from our Navy bases, where, let's say for instance, you want to take, you have a 4-day weekend and you want to go somewhere, you're just not sure where, right? And you absolutely don't want to pay for it. Well, these MAC flights, these flights that are leaving from the Navy base to go to these places anyway, right? You can hop on these planes absolutely for free, and those planes will take you wherever. And then all you got to do whenever you get there is find the return flight back home. And that's absolutely free, and they will take you wherever they're going. And you go out and spend a few days, and then hop back on that MAC flight that's returning, and there you go. And you just had an impromptu vacation. I've never utilized this personally, but I know a lot of people who have. There's actually a friend of mine he was in the reserves, and the day after one of the last drills that I went through before I came on recruiting duty, he took a MAC flight. Him and his girlfriend took a MAC flight to Hawaii, and they were there for 6 days, and then they returned after that 6th day absolutely for free, because that airplane was going there anyway. So I mean, that just goes to show that's just that much more that the Navy is taking care of us as sailors, right? So again, all of these things that are opportunities that I never would have gotten to experience had it not been for my decision to do this. All of these things were made available to me just because that fact that I made that 20-minute decision to go and sit down with my recruiter. And then within that 20-minute conversation, it turned into that hour and a half that I was like, all right, this is where I need to be. And I had absolutely, before I had absolutely no plans. There was absolutely no way that it was going to happen, right? And then it turned into that, 4 days later, I was making that commitment to go and raise my hand and having chosen my job and chosen my ship date and all that stuff, right? Until now, here I am 12 years later, with, again, all of the education that I haven't paid for, being able to travel the world and see things and experiencing the things that there's absolutely no way that I would have gotten to otherwise. Being able to know that every single thing in my life has been taken care of because I made this decision to do this. There's no better, in my opinion, there's no better opportunity than this. There's just not. And that may sound, that may come off as extremely biased just because, oh, he's a Navy recruiter, he'll say anything. Again, I don't care enough about you to lie to you as a number, okay? I care about you as a person. I want you to do exactly what it is that you want to do in life. I just know from experience that the Navy is the best way that I have seen to get you from where you are to where you want to be. And that's been the case for every single person that I've ever seen put this uniform on. I am absolutely available for questions. If you need absolutely anything, you let me know. I welcome your questions. If you are absolutely at all interested, if the thought has ever crossed your mind, if you're not sure what you want to do, or even if you've been accepted to college and you're not sure that college is what you want to do, which is, I've had that happen before a lot as well. If college is maybe not your forte right away, but you may want to do college later on in life, let me know. Let me see what I can do to help you. Because that's really what I'm here for. Is I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you figure out where you need to be and help you get there, and do whatever I need to do to help you. So if you need absolutely anything, you can reach me at 423-307-0654, or you can reach me at the Navy.com website and put in your information in there, and we will get a hold of you. But again, if there are absolutely any questions, just let me know. I thank you for your time, and go Navy.